A routine gold hunt turns into a 48-hour nightmare as one man battles broken bones, venomous snakes, and the depths of despair 100 feet underground. On October 15, 2018, John Waddell, a 62-year-old gold prospector, started what he thought would be a routine expedition into an abandoned mine shaft on his property in Aguila, Arizona. Located 90 miles northwest of Phoenix, this remote area was dotted with countless mine shafts, remnants of the region's gold mining history. Waddell had spent the past 20 years exploring these tunnels, driven by the allure of hidden gold deposits. As he prepared his equipment for the descent into the 100-foot-deep shaft, Waddell followed his usual safety protocol. He informed a friend, Terry Schrader, about his plans and expected return time. With his gear ready, Waddell began his descent into the darkness below. The rig lowered him steadily for the first 50 feet. Suddenly, disaster struck. The carabiner holding his rope snapped, sending Waddell plummeting through the darkness. As he fell, he desperately grasped at the rope, the friction burning through his gloved right hand and ripping the skin from his exposed left hand. Waddell's body slammed into the dirt floor 50 feet below. The impact was devastating. He immediately realized his right leg was broken, the ankle twisted at an unnatural angle. Despite the excruciating pain, Waddell's years of EMT experience kicked in. He quickly assessed his situation and began to take action. Using a nearby stick, Waddell created a makeshift splint for his broken leg. He wedged the stick inside his right boot to set the leg and crafted a rudimentary splint for his ankle. As he worked, the gravity of his situation began to sink in. He was trapped 100 feet underground, injured, with no food or water and no way to call for help. As Waddell tried to gather his thoughts, he suddenly found himself face to face with a foot-long diamondback rattlesnake. In the dim light, he could barely make out its shape, but the distinctive rattle left no doubt about the danger he faced. With lightning-fast reflexes, Waddell grabbed the stick he had used for his splint and struck the snake, killing it. Over the next 2 days, Waddell would face not one, but 3 rattlesnakes in total. Each encounter was a life-or-death struggle, with Waddell using his wits and makeshift weapons to survive. The second snake he felt slithering under his arm in the pitch-black darkness. Unable to see, he relied on touch and sound, waiting until the snake was fully under his arm before grabbing it and hurling it against the mine shaft wall. The third snake, a 3-foot diamondback, appeared on the second day. By this point, Waddell was weak from dehydration and lack of food, but his survival instinct remained strong. Once again, he used his trusty stick to dispatch the venomous threat. Dehydration quickly became Waddell's most pressing concern. With no water source in the mine shaft, he resorted to desperate measures. He began popping the blisters on his hands, sucking out the fluid to quench his thirst. It was a grim solution, but it kept him alive. As the hours turned into days, Waddell began to struggle mentally as well as physically. The isolation and darkness of the mine shaft took their toll. He experienced hallucinations, seeing stringy black clouds filling the mine and shadows morphing into animals. The effects of his depression medication wearing off compounded these mental challenges. Despite these hardships, Waddell clung to hope. He thought of his family and friends, using those memories as motivation to keep fighting. He knew that if he gave up, he would die in that dark hole. Meanwhile, on the surface, Terry Schrader grew concerned when Waddell failed to return as scheduled. Remembering their agreement, Schrader drove out to the remote property to check on his friend. As he approached the mine shaft in his truck, he heard a faint cry for help. Schrader's arrival marked the beginning of a challenging rescue operation. The mine's remote location meant there was no cell phone service. Schrader had to drive back out to civilization to call for emergency assistance. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office dispatched a rescue team, but extracting Waddell from the deep shaft proved to be a complex operation. It took the team 6 hours to set up an elaborate hauling system and safely bring Waddell to the surface. As soon as he was freed, Waddell was airlifted to Banner University Medical Center, Phoenix. Doctors there discovered the full extent of his injuries: 2 broken legs and a broken ankle, in addition to severe dehydration and the wounds on his hands. Waddell underwent multiple surgeries to repair his broken bones. Dr. Cliff Jones, his primary surgeon, praised Waddell's remarkable resilience and strong desire to recover. Despite the severity of his injuries, doctors were optimistic about his prognosis. In the aftermath of his ordeal, Waddell reflected on his experience with a mix of gratitude and humility. He recognized how close he had come to death and appreciated the efforts of those who had rescued him. The incident forced him to reconsider his gold prospecting hobby and the risks involved. Waddell's daughter, Jennifer Fouché, was not surprised by her father's survival. She knew his determination and resourcefulness would see him through even this extreme situation. However, the experience did prompt discussions about safety measures for future expeditions. As news of Waddell's survival spread, it captivated people around the world. His story became an indication of human resilience and the will to live. It also served as a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in abandoned mines and the importance of proper safety precautions. Experts used Waddell's case to highlight the need for mine safety education. They emphasized the importance of never exploring mines alone and always informing someone of your whereabouts when venturing into remote areas. For Waddell, the road to recovery would be long. His injuries required extensive rehabilitation, and he faced months of physical therapy before he could walk normally again. However, his spirit remained unbroken. Even as he recovered in the hospital, Waddell spoke of returning to prospecting, albeit with more caution and better safety measures in place. The incident also sparked renewed interest in the gold deposits that had lured Waddell into the mine in the first place. While he had seen signs of gold before his fall, the potential riches remained tantalizingly out of reach. This raised questions about the balance between risk and reward in pursuits like gold prospecting. Waddell's survival story quickly became a topic of discussion in outdoor and adventure communities.
An incredible story of survival and rescue right in our own backyard.
2 days trapped in a mine shaft with no food, no water, and no help for miles.
A man trapped 100 feet underground in a mine shaft, now safe thanks to some brave heroes.
It served as a powerful reminder of the unexpected dangers that can arise during seemingly routine activities. Many used his experience as a case study in wilderness survival training, highlighting the importance of resourcefulness, mental fortitude, and basic survival skills. The medical community also took interest in Waddell's case. His ability to survive for 48 hours with severe injuries, no food or water, and in the presence of venomous snakes was considered remarkable.
I look up and there's a rattlesnake coming down, and once I got my splint set, I pulled out the stick and started beating on this rattlesnake. I killed that one, and as I was leaning over to the side, I could feel something going underneath my arm. This is the second rattlesnake.
Doctors studied his case to better understand the limits of human endurance and the body's survival mechanisms. As Waddell recovered, he became an advocate for mine safety. He used his experience to educate others about the dangers of abandoned mines and the importance of proper equipment and planning. His story served as a powerful cautionary tale, potentially saving lives by deterring unprepared explorers from venturing into similar situations. The incident also highlighted the ongoing issue of abandoned mines across the American West. There are thousands of these dangerous sites, many unmarked and easily accessible. Waddell's ordeal brought renewed attention to efforts to locate, secure, and reclaim these hazardous areas. For the local community in Aguila, the incident was a wake-up call. Many residents had been unaware of the dangers lurking in the seemingly harmless hills around their homes. Local authorities used Waddell's story to launch awareness campaigns about the risks of exploring abandoned mines and the importance of respecting warning signs. Waddell's experience also sparked discussions about the ethics and risks of amateur gold prospecting. While the allure of striking it rich continues to draw people to old mining areas, his ordeal underscored the potential costs of such pursuits. It raised questions about the responsibility of landowners with abandoned mines on their property and the role of the government in regulating access to these dangerous sites. Thanks for watching this incredible tale of survival. If you found John Waddell's story as gripping as we did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable true stories of human endurance. Stay safe out there.